All information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. You should consider the appropriateness of this information with regards to your individual objectives, financial situation, and needs. Welcome to Sharing More Than the Sheets, a podcast to help you and your partner make better financial and lifestyle decisions so that you can both focus on the things that you love. I'm your host, Michael Khouri, financial planner, green thumb, husband, and just dad. This segment is called Michael's Magic Moment. It's my opportunity to play a little snippet from one of our previous episodes, which resonated with our listeners, that I received feedback from, or I felt really had an impact on some people's lives. Hope you enjoy. We all make mistakes, and we should learn from our mistakes. But even better, it's great to learn from the mistakes of others. Now, this week on Michael's Magic Moment, we go back to an episode in the first year of running this podcast show where I actually share 8 money mistakes that I regularly see. Seeing as many couples as I have over the years, I see trends. I've seen things. I see patterns of behavior that repeat themselves. And I personally learn from it, but also the great thing is that I'm able to take these experiences and what I've seen, and I'm able to share that with other clients and tell them what I've seen and give them examples. And I'll let the recording start, but before it starts, I just want to highlight the importance of really working on this together as a couple, recognizing these mistakes, because what you might find is, in a lot of cases, it's only one couple that's making some of these mistakes. And it's not always the same couple. One couple makes some mistakes, one couple makes others. And this is where it's important to work together as a team, to recognize each other's weaknesses, to be able to have a plan, to be able to work together. Because when you do these things, you'll do amazing things. I've got weaknesses when it comes to things financially, and I know those weaknesses, and my wife knows those weaknesses, and I know her weaknesses. We're not perfect at all in any way, shape, or form, but we sort of know what makes us tick and what we need to both watch out for. So when it comes to spending, for example, so it's important to discuss these things. It's important to learn from these mistakes. Now, I'm about to play a short snippet of this episode, but I highly recommend you go back to the original episode and have a listen to it. It is very, very insightful, and I really think it's something that you're going to learn from. So enjoy. So thinking of the future and thinking about what's important to you is crucial, and it really, really is a mistake that I see regularly as a financial advisor, because I'll see people that earn really good income, but they have nothing to show for it. They have a nice house, big mortgage, nice cars, nice clothes. That's probably about it. As far as investing, as far as assets is concerned, there's normally, not normally, I shouldn't say normally, but in some cases, there's not much there at all. So it is really important to think about the present and the future, and there needs to be a balance between the two. I've talked about this in previous episodes where, I say that you can't just focus on now and ignore the future, and you can't just focus on the future and ignore now. You need to live life. You need something that's sustainable, something that makes sense, because if you just think about the future, it's going to get boring. You're going to get over it. And it's something that's most likely not going to be sustainable. And if you can probably do it, your partner probably can't. And at the same time, you can't just think about the present and forget about the future, because the future is around the corner and the future is about to happen. The other thing is not saving money. So living paycheck to paycheck. And again, this ties into some of the other mistakes I've mentioned, but it's just spending everything that you earn. The issues with this is, without saving money, you A, don't have an emergency fund, B, you're not saving for the future, but C, you're putting yourself in a position where you're not able to do anything else other than cover your living costs. And the issue with that is, if you're not saving for the future, if you don't have an emergency fund, and you're just living for the present, you're normally going to find yourself in exactly the same or a very similar financial position a year later, or 2 years later, or 3 years later. So again, if you're listening to this and you're not saving money, you need to work out, first of all, is there a reason for that? Is it laziness? Or is it the fact that you can't save money? And if you can't save money, you need to work out, okay, do you need to work on your income and increasing that somehow? Or do you need to work on your expenses and reducing them? Or should you just be more aware of what's going in and what's going out using a budget to work out if you probably should be saving? You'd be surprised how many times I do a budget for a couple and they are actually in shock as to what the surplus really is. When I show them that, for example, they should be saving $2,000 a month, the first response I hear is, wow, I don't know where that's going. We're not saving $2,000 a month. And that could be sometimes because of some expenses that maybe have been underestimated. But it also could be because there's this discretionary spending. There's these small expenses I'm talking about, the excessive spending, this lack of structure, which is causing them to spend more than they should and not save enough. So not saving, again, I would say is one of the top 8 mistakes that I see when it comes to money in couples. Thanks for joining us on Sharing More Than the Sheets. Please make sure you subscribe to be updated with future episode releases, and feel free to share this episode with any friends or family that you think it might benefit. Please visit us at sharingmorethanthesheets.com.au to submit questions or requests for future podcast topics. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au.